And thanks for sticking around. This has been all about celebrating local economics, local food, local culture. And now, just to kind of take us home, I'd like to bring in Matt Rochford. Matt Rochford, an innovative uh, musician and actually a person who's involved in all kinds of things. I'm not sure we can get into all of it, but we're going to talk a little bit about music and what it's like to be a musician and to make, to kind of make a splash in music in a more localized kind of environment. So, Matt, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can.
Great.
So you're a musician, among other things, and you've got a project called Abrasive Trees. But this is not the only project you've been involved with. You've been trying to make things work. Uh, that's the wrong way to put it. You've been trying to. No, that's the wrong way to put it. You've been creating amazing music with various configurations of collaborators over the years. So, what is this new project all about?
Abrasive Trees is kind of about experimentation and freedom to express myself in a way that I wasn't doing in other bands and projects that I've been in, all of which have been incredibly valuable and productive. But it kind of sprang from the idea that I just wanted to express myself with complete freedom. So that's kind of what I've done with it, and I've been very lucky that some amazing collaborators have wanted to be part of it and have contributed to it. So it's a kind of an ever-evolving project that, on the one hand, it's about expression and freedom, but on the other hand, it's also about I guess it's about expressing feelings in a way that is, for me anyway, is very releasing and very empowering, but also that I think there's a bit of a message in what we're doing. And the last, we don't need to talk too much about the last 15 months. But it's been incredibly difficult for everyone, and having that creative outlet for many, many people in all sorts of mediums has been incredibly useful, but actually totally vital, actually. And I think the project started just a few months before lockdown, and throughout lockdown it's been incredibly a very healthy thing to be involved with, actually. For myself and hopefully for the other people that I've been working with.
Well, I would guess so. I mean, it's been so weird these last 15 months, and having
Absolutely.
creative outlets and having exposure, especially to live music, is such a, I don't even know how to describe it. I saw some live music. We went to go see Mama Tokus a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
Focus, yeah.
I was kind of shocked at the at my own response, my own emotional response to being in the presence of that kind of creative expression. So
it touches us, doesn't it? And music
yeah.
has the power to move us on an emotional, spiritual level. So,
What's it like for a creator, for a musician to be, sort of sequestered from being able to express yourself in that way?
Yeah, right. I think for many musicians that I know, initially it was quite devastating, actually. And obviously touring has stopped and gigs, and so there's been a huge focus on, it's been an opportunity, I think, to kind of go inwards and go into the studio, collaborate in various home studios. So that's been the kind of, from what I know from other musician friends, that's kind of been like their part of their survival technique, really. The ability to collaborate creatively has been a kind of godsend for certainly for my mental health and the well-being of the people that I've been working with. And then all those false dawns that we've had as well, you know, like lockdown easing in the autumn of last year, and then we had the winter lockdown, so gigs and everything keep kind of getting further away from us. And we've just had another one of them, of course. So we were due to be playing next week, but we can't because of the restrictions in that venues.
Wait. So next week, the 22nd, the gig that I bought tickets for,
We've
saying
got an email going out tonight actually about. I know. It's because it's that gig is a very sort of intimate gig. It actually officially would be seen as a private party. So, and it's a relatively obvious place in Totnes. So, the fines are ridiculous, you know. It's like £10,000 fine if you have a private party. So, yeah, so we've had to bump it forwards by 4 weeks. So it's going to be on Wednesday, the 21st of July now, unfortunately.
Okay. So maybe just can you say a word about the importance of local culture, or at least the importance of having, I don't know how to put it really, but you know, the local venues and the local avenues to be able to perform in terms of, you know, making a livelihood and just kind of like being part of the community?
Well, it's vital, and it's a resource, isn't it? So it's a resource for the people attending the shows. It's a resource for the people performing, and I think that, you know, we're all kind of chomping at the bit, aren't we? We're all dying to kind of return to that. How should I put it? It's like creative oxygen, isn't it? It's like we need it. It's a basic human need to socialize, to enjoy music, to connect with creativity. It's what we're about, isn't it? Everyone has creativity. So to have that, you know, to not have that has been really difficult, but I think it kind of comes down to seeing it as an opportunity, and also kind of having more energy for it as it returns, more appreciation. So we don't have a huge amount of venues in Totnes, but we have some great venues in Totnes. And we've got a new venue as well with the New Line Brewery moving to Meadowbrook. So that's going to be really exciting when the gigs start there. And the Barrel House is kind of changing its configuration. Jimmy and Tommy have set up a kind of world-class recording studio there, like an amazing recording studio, and they've been really busy, so it's been great. And then there's going to be another reconfiguration as the Barrel House opens, and the studio, I think, is going to move upstairs into the top floor. So yeah, we have some great venues, don't we? Small. Generally, the venues in Totnes are pretty small. The Civic is, you know, there's a lot of potential there, isn't there, with the Civic? There isn't a huge amount happening pre-COVID times, but maybe more things can happen at the Civic because it's got that increased capacity. And I think the beauty of Totnes is that there's this kind of amazing DIY culture. It's like, just do stuff, you know. I was lucky enough to work with Christian Blackbird Collective for a couple of years, and that was the philosophy. Let's just make things happen. If it's a room above a pub like the Dartmouth Inn, it's a blank canvas. Let's just put some amazing gigs on. And you know, we had artists from all over the UK and Europe coming to play in our wonderful little town. So yeah, it's great, isn't it, to really appreciate what we've got and to keep nurturing it, to keep supporting it. You know, we've had the lawn sessions at Dartington, which have been great. Gradually things are beginning to get scheduled again, which is really encouraging and really inspiring. And we're lucky we have some great promoters in town. We've got Christian and Katie Whitehouse, and a couple of others. So I'm really I've got my fingers crossed that Party in the Town is going to return, because that was such an amazing festival.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, hopefully Sea Change will be back as well.
Right. Party in the Town was amazing.
It was, wasn't it?
And also Sea Change. Sea
Yeah,
Change is an amazing festival. Really, we're so lucky in this town for not just the musicians that live here, but the musicians who want to come and visit and play here.
absolutely. They love it, don't they?
Well, and do you? I mean,
Yeah, no,
are
absolutely.
you getting enough gigs and enough opportunities to play?
Well, I think it's a kind of a, how should I put it? It's not a conflict or a friction. It's more a kind of a, it's like a prioritization process. So local gigs will always be really important to me, and I've been lucky enough to play quite a lot of gigs locally in the last sort of 5 years or so. But also, you need to, as an artist, you need to think beyond local. Actually, that's the reality, because you can, you know, you don't want to. I guess the more you play, the audience will maybe get a bit smaller. Actually, you know, we can't tour Totnes, but we can schedule like 3 or 4 local gigs a year in Totnes, and then also look sort of what's happening 2 hours away, what's happening, what opportunities are in Bristol and London, and then beyond that, even. I mean, obviously, Europe is a. I won't get into that, because we all understand that with Brexit, it's shockingly difficult now. So, but I think I think the local music scene is important for 2 reasons. From a musician's point of view, for local musicians, it's really important to have that audience that has appetite to support local musicians, and they are. Don't count myself amongst these, but there are some hugely talented musicians living locally in the Totnes area that have like a regional, national, and international kind of what's the word, profile. So we're very lucky that we have the audiences here. But also, I think in terms of attracting other musicians to come and play here, I have a friend who's in a band in Southampton, and he was really keen to come and play in Totnes because he'd heard about Totnes. He's always wanted to come here, and so we've arranged that now. So we've got a gig at New Line Brewery at the end of the year with them. So those 2 things are really important. I think we need to attract, and obviously Rupert with Sea Change is a kind of master of that, with how he works with the different labels to put that festival on, the Sea Change Festival. But also, you know, when we did Blackberry Collective gigs at the Dartmouth, we had bands from Switzerland coming to play in Totnes, and it was amazing, you know. So
Do they have music in Switzerland? I wasn't aware of that. Just
they
kidding.
have some great music in Switzerland.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Hey, you seem to be in a place where you're surrounded by musical equipment.
I know. I mean, you can't see what's at my feet, but it's ridiculous. I've got 3 pedal boards. I've got a synth over here, and I've got some samples as well. So I was going to kind of play around and do an experimental number called Before, and then I was going to play a kind of more of a song, which is called Metal Beaters.
That would be amazing. Just in case, thanks to everyone for coming. This has been a great experience, and it's all in celebration of World Localization Day. But I'll say a few more words on the other side. So, Matt, that would be great if you could play some music, and it's all over to you.
Cool. I'm just going to switch the monitor speakers off over here too, because they'll pick up on the mic. There's a thorn in my mind, I feel it all the time. It hurts with each movement in any direction. He was right. Well, like somebody tried, appears to remain, cut to move at all.
Yeah, put that produce all in there.
Give me the sound of the metal beating. There's a thought in my heart, it's taking over me. It healed all my past without any resistance. She was right, and nobody special. Called out in pain, a prayer that came to pass. Give me minty, give me the sound of the metal beating. That.
Amazing, Matt. Thank you so much for sharing, giving us a little taste. So your next gig is in July now.
I know. It's on the 21st of July. It's going to be. It's kind of like it's kind of a living room gig. Many people in the town will know Christina, who's this incredible artist and an amazing hairdresser. And she's just got a massive living room at her place. So it's a beautiful location by the river. It is, at the moment, it's completely sold out and there is a waiting list.
I have tickets.
If anybody would like to join the waiting list, then they're very welcome to message me or to message Abrasive Trees on Facebook. And maybe, Jay, if you could put my email address in the chat, it's or someone abrasivetrees@musician.org, and I can keep you posted about what's happening with that gig and also future gigs. So we've got another one in October, and then we've got another one in December. So we've got these 3 local gigs for the rest of this year, and we've got an EP coming out too. So there's an EP coming out on the 7th of July. That's our 3rd EP now. And all the gigs are with the full band. So there's 5 of us. There's Ben Roberts, who's this incredible cellist. During the lockdown, he lives on the high street in Totnes. So when the street was closed, he would just leave his front door and just sit on the road and start playing cello. So he's our cellist and bass player, and then we have this amazing guy Jay who's playing keys and guitar, and a beautiful drummer, Jerome, and Jess, who does our visuals for us. So yeah, the plan is to do these 3 local gigs this year, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we might be playing at Ashburton Art Centre as well. Actually, I've spoken to what was his name again? The guy from Ashburton.
Andy Williamson.
Andy, yeah, I spoke to Andy today, so hopefully we'll play there too.
So is it Abrasive Trees at musician.org?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So, and also abrasivetrees.com
is the website. Yeah.
I will include that in the little follow-up that I'll send out. abrasivetrees.com.
Yeah.
.com. Anyway, Matt, thank you so much for coming and for
Thanks
sharing.
for inviting me. It's really great to see you.
I can't wait for your little show.
Yeah, no, it'll be wonderful to play the whole set.
Sorry. It's going to be amazing. I didn't mean to say little show. I mean, I can't wait for
a little show.
It will be a little show, but I don't mean like, oh, you're a cute little show.
It feels like a big show. It feels like a big show. It's going to be
a big show in a little venue, and we're going to be so lucky to be in a intimate little space with you and your fellow musicians.
Yes.
Music is fantastic. So thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing a little bit about your work and your music.
Pleasure.
And thanks everyone for coming. And I really appreciate that some of you stayed for the whole thing. That's amazing. This has all been about localization and celebrating World Localization Day, something that Helena Norberg Hodge has been advocating for a very long time in Local Futures, and so thank you. And we'll say goodnight, and I'll be in touch. So stay local.
Thanks a lot, Jay. Take care.
Connected.
Thanks, Jay. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.